I wrote a story for your beard, Ryan. Okay, ready? Alright. A long time ago in a faraway land was a small, unique beast of a man. He had hair on his head and hair on his feet and hair on his back that combed over ever so neat. He had hair in his ears and out of his nose. He had hair in the spaces between each of his toes. He had hair on his knees and up the spine of his neck. He was the hairiest of all, the hairiest of wrecks. But he was not pleased, for he aspired for more. He needed hair from all of his pores. But alas, I'm afraid his goal he could not win, for he couldn't grow hair upon his bald little chin. The poor little man soon fell to despair. He wanted ever so badly to stroke facial hair. He imagined all of the men looking so smart, contemplating while stroking their beards in a park. He pictured Ben Franklin stroking his beard in his bed, sparking the light bulb that went off in his head. And Albert Einstein, who rubbed his stubble with care, generated E equals MC squared.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And Alexander Graham Bell, whose jaw was covered with hair upon hair upon hair, which was a little uncalled for, invented the phone as he rocked in his chair. But Adolf Hitler, whose mustache was most definitely feared, could have been a little bit nicer if he just had a beard. Sighed the man who dreamed of hairy mandibles, the anatomical term for jaw. That's not understandable. What I'd give to have growth on my face. The hair on my ears wouldn't be so out of place. And what I'd give to have a prickly chin. I'd be just as smart as all other men. And with hair on my chin to go with the hair on my feet, my hair collection would at last be complete. He wanted ever so badly to be the hairiest man, ruling all of the hair in all of the land. So the poor little guy who lacked a goatee decided to trek to a magical tree. A magical tree from magical roots produced magical beards for chins to recruit. And on the poor tree,
Oh my God.
Okay.
Amazing.
So he whipped out his map and chose the safest of routes, grabbed a knapsack of food, and laced up his boots. His journey began on a warm summer day, his old withered map guiding his way. He walked across the valley through tunnels and caves, searching for beards bald faces so craved. Go this way, go that way, his map wisely advised. Turn left, veer right, his directions joyfully cried. And at last, at the tree he arrived. At last, his journey he finally survived. And the magical tree, the best of its beards, the man had mischievously commandeered. He deposited the beard right into place and fastened it upon his bald little face. And the beard was the best indeed, the most fullest, most magical beard of its breed. He could talk, he could speak, he grew in ever so fully, and introduced himself as the wizardly Wooley.
Oh my God.
Now Wooley the beard had a great gift. When placed on a face, his magic would shift. From him to the man, he gave all of his powers. The man can now run at 100 miles per hour. The man can now jump to outer space because of the recent addition he made to his face. And what a relief, the man grew excessively smart and invented calculus to set him apart. He rubbed Wooley, who in turn helped him to derive a set of equations math majors can hardly survive. With all such powers, the man with ease could rule all of the hair as easy as cheese. Thanks, cried the man, thank you ever so dearly. He stroked his new beard, merely sincerely. He stroked Wooley with the most compassionate care. It was obvious it was his favorite of hairs. With his hair collection finally completed, the man went to a park, and at a bench he was seated. And here at the park, he contemplated deep thoughts and was surprised by all the ideas Wooley brought. For the ideas Wooley popped inside of his head, the man would comb him with thanks before going to bed. And I can say they were growing on each other and eventually became as close as biological brothers. And year after year, Wooley grew longer and longer, representing how their friendship grew stronger and stronger. And more years had gently went away, and Wooley and the man both turned outrageously gray. And nowadays, when they sit in the park, ideas the man tries not to spark and never strokes Wooley to be excessively smart. Instead, the two sit upon the park's bench in joyfulness rife and reflect upon their adventures in life. There's one thing to learn and something to know, the magic between friendship that exponentially grows. It can grow upon chins, faces, and feet, but without it, life is hardly complete. For a life is not measured by being the best in the land, but is greatly improved with friends in each hand. So, the man struggled one last rub to his beard, and was thankful for the friend he had commandeered. He tilted his head back, offered a laugh and a cry for a friendship in life that never will die. Man is immortal in friendship that never will die. That was really hard to read that.
Wow.
Yay! So that was, you sound like Dr. Seuss.
What do you call it?
Huh?
What's the name?
No title. You could title it.
Untitled. That's going to make it sound very artistic.
Wow.
But yeah, okay.
And that's from Lola.